That was a time lapse of some clouds reflected in a very shiny building about 3 blocks from our apartment. I really enjoy taking time lapses of different scenes to kind of help set the environment of where we're at and what we're filming.
Forley lies in front of Aaron. We are trying a new feature today on our blog, and that is a dynamic Q&A. It's cold, it's a little windy outside, so we thought we'd take questions that were asked from our most recent videos and answer them for you now.
What is life like with 2 guide dogs?
Double the tail wagging, double the drool, double the food, double the happiness. Clearly these dogs are very content, maybe a bit spoiled. We have Aaron over here on our leather couch, ton of toys. We have Forley over there on her bed.
One interesting thing about having 2 dogs in the household is this really interesting device right over here. It's a triple bowl feeder, and our dogs both eat separate foods. So we have 1 bowl each for food, and then the one in the middle for water. Down the hall, we have a little buffet, treat buffet here. Our dogs do receive treats as part of their guide work and for being good dogs. We don't overfeed our dogs, but we certainly make sure that they get some of that. We have a whole closet door full of dog equipment, various harnesses, leashes, other accessories that we might need to use. So when you have 2 dogs, you kind of get double the stuff.
We're always learning as handlers. We're learning even more as handlers from each other. I have much less handling experience, for example, so it's really great to see another team that's had a lot more years on them operate, and I take a lot of that advice very seriously in my practices as a handler.
Aww. Another interesting thing that I didn't really think about living in a household with 2 guide dogs is public perception. Now, it's if you have a guide dog or if you've walked up to a guide dog handler, it's interesting, it's exciting, it's a novel experience. You don't see guide dogs every day. But if you think 1 is exciting, try 2. We have 1 of each color. We've got a black lab and a yellow lab. So one's male, one's female. One of us is male, the other of us is female. So there's a lot going on, and I just sort of took that for granted that it would be kind of the same before they left.
Beautiful dog.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We get people all the time like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. Wow, there's 2 dogs over there. So that's been really fun to experience, but also just sometimes can be a little bit interesting in terms of just trying to get where you need to go or to not have interference from the public.
Absolutely. How do you navigate non-visually?
Great question. There are whole training programs dedicated to this sort of thing. It's called orientation and mobility. We are definitely not going to go that deep here, but there are some things that we do use in our daily lives to help us, including GPS technology. There's also self-orientation apps that kind of tell you what's around you. Those are really helpful, huh?
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. And also it's about finding landmarks, thinking about the things that are most helpful for you to orient to. So maybe it's a certain sound. A squeaky door, perfect landmark. We often find that it's the last 10 feet that make it tricky to find the destination. You're looking for a very particular door or maybe a gate in your specific terminal when you're catching a flight.
Sounds, smells, tactile information, non-tactile information. You put all that together and you get a really competent and confident traveler.
You also have to be comfortable with getting lost.
Oh, this is not where we want to be.
Nope, we're going to street code. What I like to say is be comfortable with the uncomfortable.
Great way to put that.
Why should self-presentation matter to someone who's blind?
Really good question. Both of us are passionate about this topic. Regardless whether you can see or you can't, people judge based on presentation. Do you look confident? You probably are confident, right? So to us, it's really important, especially not being able to see. We employ different techniques to help us to look our best.
Melissa opens closet and pulls out green dress.
Melissa, being totally blind, how do you know what color your clothing is?
I look at stylistically what's different about that piece of clothing, what sets it apart. So whenever I buy a piece of clothing, I try to make sure I don't buy something that looks exactly the same. So for this dress, I know this is green because it has this lace detailing on the bottom that texturally indicates to me what type of dress this is. So I don't have anything else in my closet that looks like it. Let's take this next one, for example. This one is blue. I know that because it has this interesting sort of band running through the middle of it. So again, I'm utilizing different textures on different places on the clothing item to be able to tell what it is.
Everything in my wardrobe goes with everything else. I use a lot of earth tones, whites, grays, blues, browns, greens, navy, those sorts of color patterns because it makes it really easy to match everything. I try to find patterns that are easy to match. So honestly, just taking basic, classic, timeless men's style advice and applying it.
As someone who's blind or visually impaired, you're often looked at more, I would argue, because you're different, because you stand out if you have a mobility tool such as a guide dog or a cane. So whether we like it or not, we do receive a lot of attention. People do ask a lot of questions and take notice. So I would say self-presentation is even more important. You need to project confidence. You need to project a sense of knowing how to dress and knowing how to carry yourself so that you can impress those people, you can raise their expectations. I have a lot of fun with what I wear. Mm-hmm. From the time I was really young, I noted the colors of what I was wearing, the textures. I would ask questions. And when I shopped, I wasn't afraid to try to pick out things that I liked. Oh, I think this blouse feels really cool. Mom, or hey, good friend of mine, what do you think of this color for me? Because I don't know what color it is. I could be picking up something that's neon orange. I don't know. And maybe that's not the look I'm going for, but it sure feels cool. So it was a balance of asking questions, but also figuring out what I liked, what was comfortable for me, what sort of image did I want to portray.
How do you make event spaces more accessible?
This is a great question. I would say, first of all, think about how your conference is accessed. Just arrived at our hotel here in Saratoga, attending the New York AER conference. Looks like a really nice place. Had a pretty easy commute getting here, just a train, a shuttle that conveniently showed up just as we were pulling into the station.
Think about the hotel or event space itself. Does it have on-site amenities, a restaurant? Does it have places to walk to outside of the hotel or the conference space? How hard is it to get between perhaps the host hotel and the conference? And then look at technology, your registration page, your QR code, the agenda, are all of those in accessible formats? Seems like a no-brainer these days, but it's really important to get this stuff right. If you like this sort of content, give it a thumbs up. Leave a feedback in the comments below, and we will try to incorporate this into future episodes of the Forward Together vlog.
Thanks for watching.